Hey everybody, welcome back. I have a little show and tell for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about in-ear monitor systems, and specifically this guy right here. This is the Phenyx Pro PTM-10 stereo IEM system. Phenyx Pro reached out to me and was kind enough to send me this unit to check out and share with you guys. So we're gonna get into that, but first I'd like to talk a little bit about in-ears and why I find them important. So as you might know, I have a band, we use in-ears, and I also work at a music venue where a lot of big artists come through with IEM systems. And if you've ever looked at in-ear systems, which you might be doing right now if you're watching this video, you know that some of them can get pretty pricey. Now, there's a lot of companies out there like Phenyx that give you a more affordable and valuable option. And this is really important, especially for smaller bands and artists that just want to get into IEMs and not have to deal with wedges on stage. IEMs, and specifically wireless IEMs, have become more and more popular over the past 5 or 10 years. When I actually started my studio, I didn't have wireless IEMs, but I knew I wanted like headphone systems, and I really got my first pair of like generic Amazon in-ear monitors at that point in time, and it definitely changed my world. I was used to using like over-the-ear cans, and going to an in-ear monitor was like a totally different world, and it was awesome. There's a lot of IEM systems out there. A lot of them range from a few $100s for one unit all the way up to a couple $1,000s for some of the super high-end units. But unless you're Taylor Swift or something, you don't need to go with the thousands of dollar option per unit. And it's pretty insane that you can get something like this, which is a stereo unit. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit, why I think that's important. But this is a stereo unit, and you can get it for just over 200 bucks. The cool thing about systems like this, if you're looking to get into the in-ear monitoring world, is that you can get just this system like the PTM-10 and take it with you to your gig, and most audio engineers and venues will be able to mix your in-ears for you. You won't have to get like a whole monitoring rack and learn how to mix and do all that stuff. You really just need to get yourself a unit to start with, and it is really pretty easy now to get yourself into that world. Okay, so in some show and tell fashion, I'm gonna grab the camera here. I'm gonna open this box up. It's not gonna be like an unboxing. We don't need to do all of that. I'll just pull everything out of here, and I'll start showing you and talking to you a little bit more about this PTM-10. Okay, here we go. We got the PTM-10 in the carrying case, making it easy for you to take this to gigs. Now, disclaimer here, I did already unbox everything. This is, a little bit messed up here. I did unbox everything and get rid of all the plastic bags that this all comes with. I did want to test this out the other day so I could really check it out and get a feel for it. But you have the unit here. This is a half rack unit. So if you're looking at how this fits into a rack, you see it takes up half a rack space, and it comes with the ears to mount this in a rack if you're going to do that. And it looks like this also has holes on the bottom here where you can attach a plate to couple two of these guys together, and then you can set it up to kind of look like my mic system up here. It would kind of put two of these right next to each other on one single rack space. Let's see what else we got here. We got the body pack, of course. You get a little screen on here to turn it on. We got this little power button on the top. It's kind of nice. You get the frequency here. You get the battery information. There's also your RF signal meter and your AF signal meter, which is sort of like your audio, how loud your audio is. We also have this little IR thing here, and this is actually where the IR sync happens. So you can see we have this little IR bulb. I'll power this guy up to show you, but this is gonna allow us to sync our channel. So basically you hold it in front of here after you press set to sync this thing, and the transmitter will send the channel over to this guy, and they will be synced up. We also got the power cable with the rack ears like we talked about. This is the short one, the long one. It's got a little hole right here for you to mount the antenna. It also does come with the coax connector, which is sweet because I had to buy these extra for other systems. So this guy just, you know, it's got the little nut on there and it screws right into the hole, and this will get your antenna. If you rack mount this, you want to get the antenna in the front, because otherwise you can attach the antenna right to that guy there. But if you rack mount it, you know, you want that antenna in the front like this, so it's outside of the rack. So yeah, we got the antenna cable, we got some rack screws, we got a set of earbuds in there to start you off if you don't have your own yet already. Also a 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch adapter. Can't have enough of those things around. This also has a headphone amp. That's what that's for. You can, if you need to, in an emergency situation, your pack dies or something like that, or you just have completely terrible radio pollution, you could just plug right in. Or you can, you kind of make dual use of this guy. You could have somebody on a wireless pack, and then you could have another person on this headphone amp. So you can have sort of 2 people on in-ears without having to buy 2 of these if you were in sort of that situation. Maybe the drummer can just be wired up like I do sometimes, where I don't really need a wireless pack, so having the cable is just another convenience thing there. And we get a sticker, and we get some more garbage that I left in here, and this antenna. So this is a 1/4 wave antenna, so this is a big boy. This has got it's gonna have a great signal for you. Let's power this thing up and take a look at what we can do with this. So while I'm in the back here, there's actually some other cool stuff going on. We have 2 inputs, right? Because again, this is a stereo unit. A lot of the economical in-ear systems can just be mono sometimes, and I am a big proponent of stereo. Just as an audio engineer, I like stereo. I like having like keys on my left and right. I'm a drummer also, so having my cymbals and my toms panned in my mix is, for me, just really critical, and reverbs sound so much better. And once you go stereo, you can't go back. It's really hard to go back to mono once you go stereo. We've got our antenna port here. We have this little pad switch. This is pretty sick because, you know, depending on the engineer that is you know, working with you, their board, you know, they might have a hot output on something. So if you just, you know, if things are touchy and you're really low on that output fader on the console, it can be really helpful to add this little pad, which shaves off 12 dBs there, and that will give the engineer a lot more resolution on their faders and be able to dial in your mix better. This is also a combo jack. This is sick. It's got the TRS as well, so you don't even, so if you got like 1/4 inches feeding out of a smaller mixer, that is doable. So you don't need XLRs, you can use either one. That's pretty sick. Okay, power cable here, and it looks like we have a nice little tie off, so you can kind of tuck this guy behind there. There we go, and it's actually got a little hole here. You could also, I recommend you could just zip tie this here, so then that guy's never gonna come out on you. There we go. So you see here we have our meters. You get some nice meters. I did use these the other day. They looked awesome. It's got a nice fade up and down. It's very easy to tell where you're at with your levels. This is the main volume that's kind of like the input volume as well. I was actually able to run it wide open all the way to the max, and I had a pretty good level as far as, you know, my output on my board was reading at a certain level, and it matched pretty well here. But this is cool because you can kind of trim that volume in some more there as well. The headphone volume is separate here with this little guy, so this will affect kind of the whole input, but this headphone volume is separate for this guy. So we have these navigation buttons here, and this is allowing me to kind of hop through the menus. There you saw the sync pop up, so we'll try that in a second. But this is the group. So this, you can manually set your channel here if you want. Channel, there's kind of a group of channels. Mode is giving you, sorry, this is hard to see, but the mono, this says mono and stereo right here. So this allows you to switch this to a mono unit, which if you actually get the PTM-10 that comes with 2 packs, you could do a mono, you can do a dual mono unit out of this guy. So this half a rack will actually feed 2 mono mixes for these, and you actually just pan these all the way to the side. This pack would listen to just the right coming in or the left coming in. Okay, so you can see we're in the 900 megahertz range, which is a little bit atypical. And you can see on the website here, you can actually select between a 900 megahertz or the 500 megahertz range. That way you can have a ton of these units, and each one of these have 89 frequencies between all of the different channels you can go through. So if we go to group, you have 11 groups it looks like, and a good assortment of channels per group. So that way you have plenty of options to find a clean frequency. Now a cool feature of this is auto sync. So basically all I gotta do is hit the set button and it's gonna go into this little sync mode. This light's gonna light up and you see our little IR. So when that's going, all I gotta do is hold this in front of here and you can see it said end. Now my channels are matching. We got 916, 500, 916, 500, there we go. Let me take a minute off camera. I'm gonna put the rack ears on this. I'm gonna put the antenna cable and the antenna and just kind of build this as I would put it in this rack, because I'm actually going to put this in this rack. It's gonna make a really awesome addition for my live sound rig to be able to just have an in-ear unit that I can give an artist on stage that either wants to try it or doesn't have one or couldn't bring one, or maybe it's just a backup. So let me get that done for you real quick. Here's a little progress report. I got the rack ears on with the screws that were just kind of in the side already. The antenna is extended over to this side so I can have it in the front of the rack like so. And you can put this on either side. There's a hole over here as well. So if you want the antenna on either side, you have that option. All I gotta do now is get some rack screws and pop it in here. There you go. I have now rack mounted the PTM-10. Got a couple rack screws going on there on each side, and we are in a rack. As you can see, the antenna is here out the front. I can kind of turn these down out of the way when I want to put lids on my racks. Although this isn't quite a review video of this PTM-10 and I'm just kind of showing you what it can offer you, I will say that I did use it the other day at a video shoot, and I used the pack to sort of, feed my ears while I was operating a camera, and this did a really awesome job giving me, music right into my ears wirelessly, which is obviously the whole purpose of this thing. But it did sound really good. I was impressed. I've used a lot of in-ear systems, and this thing did sound really good. It had full range, plenty of low end, plenty of high end. So far, awesome first impression of this Phenyx Pro system. I mean, you get everything you need right out the box, including a carrying case, which is something that most companies, if not, I don't even know if any other companies throw in a case. So like, I might unrack this and actually throw this in my backpack and bring it to the music venue I work at, just so I have my own cue mix. Maybe that would be a sweet use for this, but I'll definitely put this to use. I'll either have it here racked up, maybe I'll get a couple more units and fill up this rack here so I can have a whole band's worth of IEMs that I can offer my clients. That would be pretty sweet. Big thanks to Phenyx Pro for sending me this unit to check out. I am super stoked to put it to some more use. If you find yourself wanting one of these guys, I do actually have a cool discount code that I will put in the description below. They're running a special for Valentine's Day 2025. If you're lucky enough to see this video before February 15th of 2025, this guy, as well as the other Phenyx Pro stuff, is on sale on their website. I will have a link in the description once again, as well as a discount code, affiliate links, whatever they gave me. I will put all that stuff down in the comments below for you guys to get some discounts on getting yourself one of these. Final thoughts here. So far, so good with the PTM-10. I really liked the sound quality. It sounded awesome. Everything came in the box that you would really need to put this together in a rack or bring it with you to gigs, which is cool. Comes with batteries, get you going. If you didn't remember to grab batteries when you got this in the mail and you're taking it to your first gig or whatever, you can just show up and you're good to go. That's awesome. Comes with an antenna, comes with an antenna extender, which is something that the other units out there don't do. So you really get kind of everything you need to get started here with a, again, stereo in-ear system, which again, I cannot recommend enough going stereo. Some venues will not have enough outputs for you to do stereo, forewarning you. definitely be prepared, learn how to set this thing up so that you can be in mono mode when you come across the venue that just doesn't have enough outputs to give you a left and a right for your monitor mix. But if you're using this for yourself, or you are lucky enough to go to a venue or a show where you can use stereo, it is awesome. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little overview of the Phenyx Pro PTM-10. If you have any questions about this or anything to do with in-ear monitoring in general, throw them in the comments. I will do my best to reply and get back to you and answer your questions. I love doing so. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button if you appreciated this video at all. I know I really do appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next one.